Neil deGrasse Tyson discusses the existence of God with Steve Harvey.
Okay, let me ask you something. Where did cosmic dust come from? And then she said, it's part of the universe. I said, where did the universe come from? She says, part of the galaxy. I said, where did the galaxy come from? I'm just trying to get to where something formed something.
Now, a galaxy is smaller than the entire universe, but we get what he's saying. Steve Harvey is giving what philosophers call the cosmological argument for God's existence. Basically, where did everything come from? What's the ultimate cause of everything? What got the ball rolling?
We can do that. We say, where did dust come from? It came from the cores of stars. And where did that come from? And then ultimately we get to the Big Bang. Mm-hmm. Then you say, well, where did the Big Bang come from? And I say, I have no idea. You want to put God there? I don't have a problem with that. But why won't you allow me to ask you, where did God come from?
I love how you can tell that he thinks he's giving a really good answer. Like, this just destroys the entire cosmological argument. This type of counter is not new.
If you're going to postulate a God as a first cause, you've then got a really big problem explaining where the God came from.
I'm sure you can tell me where God came from.
What created God?
Where did God come from?
What created God?
Good question. Who created God?
It's been around a long time, and actually, my 7-year-old daughter just finished asking me this question the other day. So I suppose you could say that his philosophical reasoning is at the same level as a 7-year-old, but I would never say that because that's a mean thing to say. Now, I can get how, when you're asking the question, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Then where did that come from? The next logical step is to ask, well, then where did God come from? But it really does show a complete lack of understanding about the whole point of the cosmological argument. Considering Tyson speaks about these things fairly often, he should at least be aware of this. Now, the universe has either always existed or it had a beginning. So either the string of cause and effect relationships goes backwards forever, for eternity, and there's always another cause behind the effect. Or there's a beginning point that started the whole thing going, which is actually what science seems to imply with the Big Bang. If there's a beginning point to the long list of cause and effects, then that beginning point would be able to cause things without itself needing a cause. We just call this first cause that started the whole thing going, God. In fact, there's a term for this kind of idea where people refer to it as the God of the philosophers, not specific to any world religion, meaning that there's the basic fundamental concept of God that philosophy points to. What was that first moment where there wasn't anything and then all of a sudden there was? That's what we call the first cause, or the uncaused cause. So with that in mind, let's look at what Neil deGrasse Tyson said. When Steve Harvey brings up the idea of God as being the explanation for where everything came from, basically, what is the first cause? Neil deGrasse Tyson asks,
why won't you allow me to ask you, where did God come from?
So if we're talking about the uncaused cause, the thing that brings other things into existence without itself needing to be brought into existence, the first of all the causes with nothing before it, and you ask, what's the cause of that thing? It's like saying, hey, you know that thing that doesn't have a cause? What caused it? Or asking, hey, you know that thing that doesn't have a beginning? What's its beginning? If you're able to ask that question, it shows you don't really understand the concept behind the cosmological argument. For example, suppose a little kid comes up to you and asks, what color is the number 4? You might explain to the kid, well, numbers aren't colored. They are just like ideas. They don't exist in the real world around us. The philosophical term here is numbers are abstract objects, but you wouldn't use that term for a little kid. Imagine the kid responds to you, okay, yeah, but what color is it? That would tell you they just don't get it. It's the same thing here with the cosmological argument, where God is the stopping point for the long list of cause and effects. Asking the question,
where did God come from?
Is like asking, what is the cause of the uncaused cause? You just don't get it.